If you had the ability to look into the future, even if it was only just one day, would you do it? What if you didn't like what you saw? Would you try and change it? What if you went out into one day into the future and it was completely different to what you thought, what you hoped? Would you try and change it? See, everything in life happens for a reason. Now in this video, we're going to go deeper into this concept of everything happens for a reason. It's really important to understand this too, because we only hold negative emotions to things that we don't see the divine order in. Everything happens for a reason. We all agree it. In all of our events we do, I say, raise your hand if you think everything happens for a reason. Everyone goes, yes, everything happens for a reason. Everyone agrees. But then when we start working through something, they're like, oh no, but that shouldn't have happened, or this shouldn't have happened. The same concept is true. Now, as we go through this video, I'm going to start talking about why these things happen and why they're here for you and how they can help you. See, we always have two ways that we can look at things. Look at problems, challenges, issues, anything in our life. They can either happen to us and we be a victim and we can never change anything in that sense. Or they can happen for us and we can see that they are along the way, not in the way, and they're helping us and guiding us moving forward. There's an analogy I like to use. Imagine if you are running down a bowling path, and see, that's life. We have our direction, we have our path that we're going down. Even if we're not consciously going down that path, or we are still going somewhere, we're still going down a path, we just might not be aware of it. So we're going down this path. And so everyone has their own little individual path. But if we don't understand this, and if we don't understand that everything's helping us, pushing us onto that path, our values, our beliefs, our emotions, and everything that's happened in our past is just this divine order to get us to where we want to go. So if we're not aware of that, we might try and change that. And for example, we might try and be with someone who's not aligned with this path. Their path might be going this way, but we're like, nope, I want that person because it's triggering some insecurity or some need or something that's inside of us. And so we keep going that way. It's like a bowling alley with bumpers up. And so we keep bumping into the side thinking that we've got to go that way. But what we actually do is this thing, this rejection or this thing that's getting us away from that person is our own blocker to bring us back on our own path. But most people don't see it like that, and it's not till afterwards that you go, I can see that. In some of our events too, more recently we've just done one, and the common theme is sometimes when people go through a divorce or a separation, then they start doing the work. Then they meet someone, and it may be hard during that time, but then they meet someone when they get to this new level. No one's ever better or worse, they're just at a different level. So they get to that new level and they meet someone new, and they meet someone that is a relationship that's 10 times better than they thought it would be here. But they needed to go through that experience to get to there. And so that same concept of all the challenges maybe are just bringing us back on path. Every rejection is just bringing us back onto path of what's true to us, of where we're going. And the more that work that we do to understand that, the more that path will be clear, because it's there, we're on that path. We may not just be aware of it consciously right now. And that path can obviously change and shift and go wherever it needs to go. Coming back to our core concept that everything happens for a reason. We only hold negative emotions to things we don't see the divine order in. If everything happened exactly the way it needed to, and it couldn't have happened any other way, because you were always doing the best that you can with the resources that you have. You might look back and be like, I could have done better, I could have done better, I could have done better. Of course, if you went back with this mindset, with this knowledge, with this skill set, you went back, you'd go, yeah, I know how to change that. I can do this different. But I guarantee you, if you went back and started again with no extra knowledge exactly the same way, you would have done the exact same things in the exact same form. It's just the way it happens, because we're always doing the best that we can with the knowledge and the resources that we have at the time. So your past, whatever happened, could not have been any other way. Let me say that again. It shouldn't have, and it could not have been any other way. Why? Because it was that way. It's a hard concept to grasp, I understand, but as soon as you understand it, it's freeing. Because you're not trying to argue with reality. Because what's happened has happened. And if you try and say that it shouldn't have happened that way, you're arguing with reality. And let me tell you, that is a tough gig trying to argue with what is, right? So instead of doing that, we go, what is the purpose? Why did that happen for me? How has it helped me? How has it pushed me back onto my path? How has it bumped? And I get, sometimes we can have deaths, we can have tragic events. However, if you keep an open mind and have a bigger concept about it, it then is freeing you, because at the end of the day, that's all I want for you, is to experience inner freedom and inner peace. And if you're thinking, no, that should have happened that way, you're living in the past and you're never going to enjoy the present, or the future for that matter, but you'll never enjoy the present. So it's really, really important to keep looking back and go, what are these things that I think maybe shouldn't have happened? Have a look over your life, and the things that it's like, oh, if someone was going to have a look over your movie of your life, you're like, oh, let me just take that out. Let me take that bit out. Let me take that bit out. And so it's really important to do that. When you can go through that and have a look at those things, those events, those situations, and ask those questions. How has this helped me? What is the purpose of this happening this way for me? What are the benefits of this happening? What can I learn from this? Because there's no mistakes in life. The only mistakes come from things that we don't learn, so then it's a mistake. But if you learn what you have, then you don't need to make that mistake again, and you don't need to hold on to that quote unquote mistake, right? So everything happens for a reason. And that also means that every person we come into contact with has the exact same thing. So every relationship happens for a reason. What we see in others, what we reject in others, is a reflection of ourselves. The world's just a reflection of ourselves. I will go into that later in a different video. It's a big concept for right now. But there's a quote by Carl Jung that I just wanted to point out. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. So Carl Jung said that. Now, this isn't perfect because the world is a reflection of ourselves. So what we get triggered by someone else, it's then allowing us to heal. It's allowing us to look within and go, why am I getting triggered by that? What's going on in me that I've created that situation? Responsibility is power, and that's how we take power back, by saying, how did I create this? What's going on in me to trigger me with this person? And they're just there to help us, push us back onto that path. So it's really, really important to not get caught up in those things and understand that everything's pushing you down this way. And if it doesn't work out, then it's not meant to be. And we don't get hung up on that. There's good in every bad, law of polarity. And so that means that if there's good in every bad, there's something that we perceive is bad, we are just unconscious to the positives in that certain situation. So if you were to see something that maybe not going so well in your life, and you go, how is this helping me? What are the benefits? And you even out that charge, you can then go, I can see how that's helping me, and you be in a place of neutrality, which is much better than being unbalanced with either all positives and no negatives, or all negatives and no positives. That's a very imbalanced place, and we want to stay balanced. We want to be that, because then we can see the good and the bad, and we get to enjoy all of life. Because if we're only focused on the bad and unconscious to the good, we're missing out on half. If we're only focused on the good and we're unconscious to the bad, we're still missing out on half. So it's really important to see the whole picture. Then we don't get blindsided by things. We don't enter a relationship and then think the relationship's all good and there's no red flags, there's no downsides, but then all of a sudden they start popping up as time goes on, if you know what I mean. So it's really important to do that, because everything happens exactly the way it needs to for you to get the lessons that you need. It's the same as every person will play the exact role that you need them to play for you to get the exact lessons that you need to learn. And so when you understand that, you can understand that everything in your life has got you to this point, because the pit, the challenges, the trauma that you experience leads to a transformation. The pit reveals the purpose. And all of these things that have happened here, if you can dive into them and look at them dissociated from above and not in them, thinking that it's so bad when you're in there, you see it differently, and you can change the way you see and view yourself and also life. So to recap, everything happens for a reason. Everything's pushed you to this place because you need to be here right now. And let go of the attachments of needing to be somewhere else, because when you understand that, you can go, okay, cool, I'm meant to be here right now. and then you can change it. So many people are arguing with reality. They don't want to be where they are right now. And so they can't fully get to somewhere because they haven't fully accepted where they are right now. So the more you can accept your current reality, accept it, you're not arguing with it, and then you can choose to move. And understand that everything's got you to here to keep you on your path. Even if you're not aware of it, keep doing the work, keep watching these videos, come to our events, keep working through this stuff that's going to keep you going on that path. The path may evolve, but you've got your path, you've got your little bowling alley, and if you go off it, you're going to experience challenges to bring you back. You're going to get rejection to bring you back. You're going to have opportunities that may fall down because it's bringing you back. You might find opportunities open up on your path, but you're not aware of them until you turn down one from here, or you go, that maybe that shouldn't be going that way, I should be going this way. So it's a really important concept to understand, and keep reminding yourself that everything happens for a reason. I'm exactly where I need to be, and I am safe. And if you say those things to yourself, I am safe right now, I'm exactly where I need to be, and everything happens for a reason, it just gives you a nice calming sense of peace that comes over you. And then you can choose to change where you want to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your biggest takeaway, your insight in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We go put these out every Thursday. So if you have any comments or anything you want me to talk about, if you have any recommendations or things you want to hear, let me know, put it in the comments, and I'll do one of those very, very soon for you. All right, bye for now.